Hey, how you doing? My name is Jean-Paul, and thank you so much for taking the time to see what we can do together as holistic spiritual entrepreneurs here, building our brand, our business in this amazing industry. Because what I've got is a different kind of vision on how we can start working together to help each other grow our businesses. So this basically is like a two-way strategy. Number one, you have your business focused on helping consumers. So let's say you are focused in the business to consumer market, which is fantastic, which is a great way to build your business. But let's say as an online entrepreneur in the holistic health industry, spiritual development, spiritual healing, it can maybe take months working on social media, building your brand, creating content, and all of it being focused on the consumer market. It can take months or even years before things can take off. Plus, it is of course also a very lonely and isolating journey with many ups and downs, where you wish you could actually communicate with like-minded entrepreneurs who can help each other to lift each other up. Not only in mindset, in spirits, but of course also in business. And that's exactly what I want to do here, because of course I'm working on the personal brand Germanic Wellness, which is focused much more on spiritual development around the Nordic, Germanic and Celtic spiritual practices, shamanism, paganism, health, wellness, self-improvement. So that's really, of course, my long-term brand that I'm personally working on as well. And how I got to the point is, of course, also what I will share with you in this video. But besides that, I'm also working on a secondary project, which, of course, I will explain to you in this video, which is a project which is in collaboration with like-minded entrepreneurs in the holistic health spiritual development industry. And this project evolves all around content syndication and content curation, okay? And how that works and why we should be working in this way is of course what I will explain to you in this video. So with no further ado, let's go and dive straight in. Now, first of all, before we go any further, who am I exactly? Once again, my name is Jean-Paul, coming at you here from the southwest of the Netherlands. And basically from 2009, 2010, I started my journey in finding my way to create my own freedom and independence working online. My first 2.5 years was lots of struggles and upside downs and trying to find and why to make money online. Of course, I was like early in my 20s, so I was in a state of mind like I want to prove my worth through accomplishments. No matter what, I gotta go and find a way to make money no matter what. And then when I was making money on the internet as an affiliate marketer, making around 10,000–15,000 euros a month, what I started to notice, I started to struggle a lot with anxiety, stress, chronic fatigue, feelings of burnout, and that's really how my spiritual healing and development journey really took off back in 2012. So let's say I was really much more in my masculine energy, and when you have too much masculine energy, you can burn out. Then I made a complete shift because I went into lots of spiritual development healing workshops, and that really started to open up my mind, my spirit, my heart, and all of it. But also I needed much more feminine energy to find some sort of kind of like rebalance, recalibration. And what I noticed when I had too much feminine energy, I was like going around in circles and circles, going absolutely nowhere, and struggle with dependency, codependency, being dependent on someone else financially, and of course that was really like very, very toxic for my own spiritual health and development as well. So after 10 years I had to break out of that as well to really to find my journey. Now what we really need is actually, in the time of Aquarius, we really need, of course, the balance between the masculine and the feminine energy. We need the masculine energy to grants a base for ourselves, because the tree of consciousness can only grow as far as the roots are grounded in the earth, also in our own shadow side. So for that we need a strong base in order for us that the heart and the soul can flourish, because the masculine represents the outside shell that can harbor the pearl of the feminine energy, of the divine intuition. And both men and women, of course, we want to find that within ourselves. So within our business, that could be like building a base for our content creation, syndication, curation, and then we can create our creative content, get into our intuition, and syndicate our messages to the world. Now, why do I decided to do this? Because over the last 10 years, of course, I have been like creating lots of spiritual contents on YouTube and stuff. I've made over 400 videos. And what I noticed is that I wanted to just really be focused on my creative inspirations, you know, of my intuition and getting in touch with that. And I wasn't really focused that much on the marketing aspect, on the syndication, on the networking aspect, on really to get my work out in the world. Now, what I meant is that deep within my soul, I felt that I had to do more, be more, have more, but still, of course, being dependent on jobs and trading my time for income and getting stuck in the matrix, in wage slavery, and feeling a sense of disempowerment, knowing there is another way to get out of this. There's a way to create something of our own. Now, when you're like half-assing like a spiritual entrepreneur, you feel it in your soul, in your spirit. It is like a nagging, aching feeling that you're meant for more, but you don't really fully listen and act upon that, which is causing lots of frustration and all of it. When you're still like with one foot in the matrix, in wage slavery and stuff like that, and one foot you're always thinking like, I'm supposed to do something more. Now, for that reason, I'm here creating a network for us working together to finally break out of this kind of matrix system. And that's why I came up with the term Germanic Wealth Warriors, because my primary project, Germanic Wellness, focus much more on the mind, body and spirits. But we need the spirits of our ancestors, that from our hunter-gatherers, the warrior kind of energy. Think about the rune Tiwas, which is related to the Norse god Tyr, which was the warrior who fight for his freedom and justice, okay? And that's kind of the energy that we need right now. Of course, I also have been diagnosed with ADHD and stuff like that, which I also could say, right, it's like we must heal the ancestral developments and healing disassociation. ADHD, ancestral developments, healing disassociation. Because we feel disassociated from the world we must live in, but we are also here to bring in the energy of our ancestors, of our hunter-gatherers, the warriors who go and get out there and get things done. That of the mindsets of the commercial traders as well. That's why you see this amazing painting from the Dutch raid on the Medway, which was like a pinnacle moment for Dutch history of Navy battle and warfare, because that really brought us freedom. And this is the spirit that we need in order to break out of it. And that's why the term Germanic, because when we think about our ancestors, the Germanic tribes, the barbarians, as they were labeled, they were working together as tribes to stand against the Roman Empire, the invasion of the Roman Empire. Now, what we have today is not longer the Roman Empire. What we have is, of course, the empire of global capitalism. Capitalism only exists for the global corporations, but for the normal people like you and me, we are kind of like up against this major force that is outside of us, that wants us to divide and conquer and isolate. And that's why in the time of the Aquarius, we must come together and work together and collaborate together. So, with that being said, let's go and let's dive straight in what we can do together. So, the Germanic Wealth Warriors, content creation, syndication and Curation 2.0 for spiritual entrepreneurs. Now, it is very important is that we are here in the same niche together. If you're watching this video, if I invited you to this video, that is because I feel that we are at a similar path, having a similar interest, a similar purpose, and that's why, you know, we could really work together. Now, let's start with the beginning. What it is that we are doing here. First of all, let's talk about your business, what it is that you are doing. I think as spiritual entrepreneurs, we are here focused on the business to consumer market. We create content to educate, inspire, entertain, and all of these beautiful things. So we are creating lots of free online content. But, you know, like I said myself, I've been doing it for my own joy and satisfaction because I needed to find something to feel whole or to feel connected with my purpose. But of course, knowing there is more that I could do. And eventually the whole idea is that we do not longer have to participate in meaningless jobs in corporate careers that is sucking the life force out of us. Instead, we want to build up our spirits through our own creative inspirations. So how more we create online content, we build know, like, and trust. We built an audience, we built a community, we built a tribe, we built an email list, we built a social media following. And when we have that, we can start to monetize through adverts like AdSense or Mediavine or brand deals or affiliate marketing, right? When we have an audience, let's say we talk about shamanism or paganism, whatever, you know, we could say like, hey, you know, this is an amazing web shop where you can buy amazing clothing, accessories, all of it. Or affiliate marketing, like, hey, you know, I'm really into health, wellness, nutrition. These are the supplements that I'm using from this company. I highly recommend it. This is what I do for myself. Go check it out. Check out this company, check out this product. And when we do so, we can earn a commission. Of course, we can also think about one-on-one services, coaching, healing, readings, mentorship. Okay, so this is another thing that we can do, which is amazing, which is beautiful, which can be really personal as well. But when we work, of course, with a one-on-one service, basically you don't have a job, you own a job because you are still kind of like trading your time for income, which is a great way, of course, to build a very strong foundation for your business. But eventually the next step could be also like online courses. Like you want to leverage your knowledge, your time, your expertise, and you want to create some sort of automation within your business. Okay, and through a system you automate things, and this could be like a leverage. And then you can start to scale, perhaps even in business. Like when you put like $1 in advertising and $2 is coming back. How many times you can keep doing this, right? This is like creating generational wealth. Or think about live events, workshops, retreats, online events where you start working with groups, right? So this is of course very self-explanatory. But here's the thing, and this is kind of really like the message. This is still like you as an individual, as an individualistic business versus the World Wide Web, okay? Now, depending where you are, of course, within your business journey, that can feel a little bit like an uphill battle, like you're looking up a massive mountain that you're trying to climb, which can be very, very challenging, okay? So it depends really where you are at. Maybe you are still at the start at creating online content, but you're not really quite there yet, knowing how you can start to monetize, or finding the right kind of affiliate marketing products, or finding influencers and other creators who have already a more established brands and following, where you can say like, hey, you know, what if we do like a collaboration, for example, you know? So yeah, this is of course a journey that can take months and years to build and to create. Now let's continue with the next step, content syndication. Now, like I said before, the last 10 years I've been really just being focused on just the creative aspect of things, because I did it more for myself. I needed something like a journal for myself, okay? And sometimes people watch it and some people don't, okay? Sometimes I get 20, 30 views on my videos, and sometimes I got like a peak, like a few thousand people watch my videos. I had a period in my YouTube journey where I started to do like reviews from online courses as an affiliate marketer, and for sure that made me some money here and there. But I also have experience when I had like a couple of videos on my channel promoting online courses, and then the affiliates program stops, okay, and then it would hurt my income as well. But let's talk about content syndication, because we can do the creative aspects and just focus on the creative, creating YouTube videos and all of it. But what's the next step? The next step is, of course, the distribution of our content. So let's begin with short form. What is short form content? Think about the vertical videos for Instagram and Facebook Reels, which we can syndicate in Facebook groups. And when we add value to these communities, we can attract people towards our own personal profile. And on our personal profile, we can talk about our business. We don't talk about our products and services in the communities of others. That is like being seen as spammy. But really, like, how can we actually add value to these communities? Okay, now this is also the process of repurpose. Repurpose one vertical video you post on Instagram, which gets automatically also posted on Facebook. And you can also post a vertical video on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts. You can post a vertical video on Pinterest, on Reddit groups as well, or Twitter, which is now of course also X. And we can expand this list, of course, depending how much time you have in the day. But then let's also have a look at long form content, videos or blogs. Can you turn a video into a blog post? Is there AI for that? Can we automate that? Yes, there is. There are a ton of applications who can help us with that. We can turn a video into a blog post. The blog post or the article, can we repurpose that on other blogging platforms like WordPress, our own blog, Blogger, WordPress.org, Wix, Medium, Tumblr, etc. Or video. When we make a video, we can also repurpose the audio file of the video on, let's say, on Spotify. Or once we have an article or a video, where do we post it? How do we generate traffic to our content? Let's think about posting to Pinterest or Medium or other platforms, okay? So this is really what we continue to expand when you go to my website, Germanic Wealth Warriors, because this is once again like the vision of what it is that we can do. And then of course also post to curation apps, where other creators can use your content and where they syndicate your content on their own social platforms, okay? And I continue to speak about that in a minute. But also we must think about schedule and plan ahead. So think about a content schedule. We can use applications like Later for Instagram or Tailwind for Pinterest, where we schedule our own content, but of course also curated content. Okay, now let's continue to talk about that. Content creation 2.0. Okay, so why we do this? We schedule content from other relevant creators within the holistic health, spiritual, personal development niche. Okay, because we are building our social media channels for syndication, for syndicating our content. Okay, so these people of course only have an interest in, you know, whatever the topic of our niche. Okay, so when we want to curate content, it has to be relevant. Because what is the purpose? Is to serve our audience and also to stay active on our channels. So even if you have right now other responsibilities in a job or, you know, your own coaching practice, and you don't have a lot of time to create and syndicate content and to be on the internet all the time. So Also for me, I don't always have the time to create 3 pieces of short form content each and every day, or 1 or 3 videos per week. That is almost like a full-time job itself. So that's why we can take relevant content from other creators and put that into our content planner schedule, and it will be automatically released on our social media platforms. But then what exactly is the benefit? Because, you know, content creation 1.0 is like we take the content from other creators, right? We schedule it on our own social media platforms, but actually then we are kind of promoting the business of someone else. Well, it doesn't really benefit us in this way, if that kind of makes sense. So what are the benefits? So let's say you're working on your own business, you have your own course, okay, which you are promoting by yourself, you do everything yourself. The next step is actually, what if you create an affiliate program for your own course, and then what you are going to do is to find or to approach the content creators within your niche who creates very relevant content and ask them like, listen, I got a course and I have an affiliate program. Would you like to promote my program to your audience? And they say, yeah, for sure, I'm very happy. Then you can say, okay, now I'm going to also syndicate your content to my own social media platforms, and that can create more brand awareness to your courses and everything. This is kind of like the collaboration you need to start working on. Now the next step is when you have your own affiliate program for your own course. Now let's say you create like a multi-tier affiliate system. So you have the affiliate program, other creators can promote these courses, but what these content creators now can also do is they can also approach other creators within the niche and say like, listen, this is amazing affiliate program that I'm promoting, it's creating results for me. Listen, you also have the opportunity to promote this program to your audience, all right? Now, they start generating results, sales, but because there's like a second tier affiliate program, let's say if you promote it to your own audience, let's say you get a 20, 30, 40, 50% commission, but now they are also promoting this course, you get like a 5% commission based over their sales volume, if that is kind of makes sense. So that's a kind of like the power of a multi-tier affiliate program. Now, of course, you could say there's a lot of work that goes involved. What if I start to just join a multi-tier affiliate program? Okay, so that's another way that, of course, I can share more information about when you join my email list, because then I take you on this journey much further. And then what it does, it's you create a network, okay, of other content creators, bloggers, YouTubers, influencers, okay, who all want to monetize their own content. And you basically, what we are doing is we are building like private communities of like-minded creators, entrepreneurs, okay, who are all doing their own thing. They create content, they syndicate their content, and they want to monetize their content. And based on all the sales volume that we do, we all earn commissions over that by syndicating, okay, each other's content on our own platforms, okay? So this is creating like a distribution channel. So the next step is really about thinking the collaboration funnel, okay? The creator to creator. You can also say business to business, because we are focused on the business to consumer, and a separate project is like the creator to creator. So what it does, once again, this business model is like, hey, the idea is that we create like generational wealth through these multi-tier affiliate programs, okay? But all these other creators, what do they need? They need marketing tools, they need marketing trainings, they need resources and all of that to build their business. That is going to help to build their business. Now these marketing tools, they all come with their own affiliate program. And a lot of these tools, they are like subscription based. Okay? And what it means is that every month you can earn a commission. So you sign up one creator, okay, who's going to use a marketing tool to build his business, all right, who pays a monthly subscription, and each and every month you earn a commission. So this is like building monthly residual income, okay? First step. Second step, what is the idea? Is to continue to build generational wealth, passive residual income, based on the sales volume that they are creating, and by the network they are expanding by building up their collaboration funnel. Okay, so they can also approach other creators and influencers within this niche that are bringing into our community. Okay, they join a multi-tier affiliate program. Okay, they start promoting it to their own audience, they generate sales and revenue, and because they are in our network, okay, we also earn a commission out of that. Okay, but also think about influencer marketing and brand deals. Okay, so what we can do, we can approach bigger influencers, okay, of people with larger networks, and say like, listen, we got this collaboration funnel, would you fancy joining our program, community, all of it, or would you like to give me a shout out? And this is another way. Or you start building up your own audience and all of it, and now you could say like, listen, you can approach other companies and say like, hey, I really love your web shop, I really love what you guys are doing, I have a massive exposure, would you like me to pay me $1,000, $2,000 and I give you exposure to my audience, whatever it is. But also you can think about high-end coaching, business coaching, personal coaching, mentorship, okay? And eventually the whole idea is of course wealth, but not only just wealth, abundance, at both the spiritual level and the financial level, because of course we create that through collaborations and more joy and coming together and working together, and not just be here in isolation, working from home. For some people it's great, but it can be very isolating as well. This is empowering each other to build generational wealth. So this is kind of like the whole idea, the vision that I have for Germanic Wealth Warriors. And of course, this is a lot of information. And I know I'm ADHD. I know there's like a lot of information that I'm giving to you right now. But once again, this is kind of like where we must start. We can say, it's all from the mind and all of it. Yeah, but we need to work from the level of the minds, which is, let's say, part of the masculine energy, because the masculine energy is like the outside shell, okay, to harbor the pearl of our feminine intuition and instinct, okay? And that means is that we need our syndication networks to create our own creative, intuitive ideas. And this is kind of really like the whole idea for it. And then how more we do that, then of course we can evolve the energy of the heart and the soul as well, which is very much needed in today's world. Okay, so that's why I'm also part of marketing communities, business community for heart center entrepreneurs, where we find a lot of tools and education and trainings that can really take things much further and deeper in building our businesses. All right, so much more information about that. So much more information, training and education when you go to Germanic Wealth Warriors, where I also begin with the different kind of tools and the trainings and joining our community, and where I take things further by step-by-step training and tutorials. I know it's a lot of information. Let's start with the beginning on expanding and building our own business, what kind of affiliate marketing programs to join. You want to go both ways, focusing on the business to consumer, but also like, hey, if we approach a lot of people on a daily basis, Are they just here for their own entertainment and education, or are some of them also working on their own business? If that's so, we can redirect them to our content curation network. All right, so this is really how we can start to approach this. Anyway, hope this was helpful. If you want to share your thoughts, if you have any questions, please let me know. And once again, I would really love to learn more about your projects, your ideas. Do you see any value in this? Do you want to start working on this? Please let me know. And I look forward to connect with you very, very soon. All right, take care for now. Bye-bye.